People are fond of saying that suffering is a choice, and suffering is a choice. But you don't know that you're making that choice if you don't know what choosing and choosing yourself really looks like. When it comes to our suffering starts with how we are thinking about and treating ourselves. You can think about any event that has ever happened in your life, and no matter how traumatic it is, no matter how unfair or even abusive it is, underneath the event itself, there is an even more egregious thing happening, and that is how we think about ourselves or treat ourselves because of the event. A lot of times, someone will take the abuse of another and then they'll turn that against themselves and say that there's something wrong with them because this kind of an experience happened to them. There's something wrong with them because they didn't have the power to XYZ. It's how we wind up seeing ourselves that hurts the most. And so the best thing that we can do is to learn to value ourselves no matter what. And valuing ourselves no matter what does not mean lying to ourselves or acquiescing and making the unacceptable okay. No. It means stepping into a relationship with self that allows us to be honest with where we are. I call it the if I tell myself the truth conversation. If we find ourselves in dis-ease, in upset, in pain, emotional pain, the best way to begin to process that is to say, if I tell myself the truth, and then ask yourself, what happened? Let yourself be present to what happened. Yes, you know what happened. The events run around in your mind, but to have a sincere conversation with yourself that says, what happened? How I feel like, okay, I was in this relationship. It started to go south. I was unaware, or I actually just ignored the signs that there was a problem here. And I ignored them to the point that that problem literally blew up in my face and I was left devastated. When you tell yourself the truth, now you're present with it and you don't have to spend any extraneous time avoiding what happened. It doesn't mean you have to blame yourself. You just have to be present with what happened. And then you can move to, if I tell myself the truth, this is how I feel. And whatever those feelings are, those are your feelings. And being present to them and acknowledging them helps you stay connected to and congruent with yourself. So, I feel stupid, or I feel like I dropped the ball, or I feel like people are whatever, laughing at me. Whatever those feelings are, acknowledging them makes you or places you in front of the feelings. Yes, you will feel the feelings, but you won't have the added resistance and the added oppression and the added discomfort of trying to run from them. And then you tell yourself what's possible. What happened, how you feel, those are important, but the most important thing that you can tell yourself is what's possible. And here's the beauty of what's possible. No matter how it has been up until now, no matter how difficult or overwhelming or devastating, it can be better from this point forward. That's the truth. That's the possibility we have to focus on. And we can get to that possibility when we're clear and present to what happened and how we're feeling. And for us to care about ourselves enough to take time to be with where we are in the same way or better that we would be with a friend going through the challenges that you were going through. You'd show up. You'd have the conversation. You'd be present to their feelings. Not trying to fix their feelings, not trying to deny their feelings, but being present and saying, I'm sorry that happened to you. I know that feels awful. And once you've done that, you give yourself emotional room to think beyond the circumstances. It's like being with yourself in a loving way is a way of helping you regulate so that you can take your energy from out there where there's all this disturbance and judgment and shame and unhappiness, and you bring it in where you can soberly say, if I tell myself the truth, this is what happened, this is how I feel. But the most important thing is what's possible. And what's possible is anything you decide. You decide you want to be on the other side of this, you say, if I tell myself the truth, I can be on the other side of this. I don't know how, but there are millions of people who have had the exact same experience that I have had, and they are on the other side. So I know that being on the other side is possible. That will resonate as truth inside of you. There's a part of you that can hear that and can lean into that because historically that part of you knows that's true. You can also say, in an infinite universe, there must be a way to move beyond where I am. And what you've just done with that simple statement is you have acknowledged that there's more to life and what's possible than the little cubby hole that you might be stuffed into emotionally in this moment. If you know that something more is possible, it opens up a little door inside of you where that possibility can come through. Again, when you speak to what's possible, you speak to your resilience. Because if you're thinking about what's possible, you're not in the past being victimized and burdened by it. You are now present, and being present allows you to think about how you move forward. All right, y'all. Telling ourselves the truth is underrated, and creating the habit of telling yourself the truth can take your life into a sense of purpose and wholeness that you have yet to imagine. So, if you tell yourself the truth, who can you be starting today and from this point forward? I'm loving you.